Greetings, YouTube. So, today we are back with another bit of news and Nuzlocke playing through Pokemon Emerald while giving you guys the news of what happened this week in video games. So, last week we had the monumental occasion of Activision and Blizzard being purchased by Microsoft, and we get back to kind of some regular news. And yeah, so we're gonna hop to some regular news and kind of balance that a little bit more. Spread the love everywhere rather than just having all the love getting shared with you know, the the Microsoft side of things. We're going to hop over here. Gonna go. We got it. First try. Alright, it sounds good. So, let's hop on in to Pokemon Emerald now that we got everything looking fine and dandy. I suppose I should pull up my notes for this week in what the heck happened. Alright, so, in the meantime, I did do... Okay, Twitch chat, I see you have a request. What is your request? In the meantime, I did a little bit of grinding, so our Pokemon are slightly higher level than they were last time. And, so that way, we're not going to spend all this stream just grinding it out. Just, talk to our dad real quick. Alright, so chat. And the next Pokemon Pickle. Alright, yep, that was definitely super solid. And you know what? I don't think that's too much to ask for. I think Pickle will be a good name. Depending on what Pokemon it is. Otherwise, it's just going to, be kind of weird. But to start things off, we are going to be starting with the fact that Microsoft said during an earnings call that Sony is indeed guaranteed the next 3 Call of Duty games. However, that's not Sony being guaranteed the next 3 years of Call of Duty. What that is more so looking like is Sony is going to be given the Call of Duty for the year after the deal goes through. So they'll get the Call of Duty this year, they'll get the Call of Duty next year, and then they're also, the third game is more so like an update to, crap, what's the Battle Royale that they got going on over on Call of Duty? Warzone, that's what it is. So, in reality, it kind of ends up being more so, 2 years of Call of Duty still going over to PlayStation, and then after that, it's really going to kind of see, what happens with, Sony being able to work out a deal with Microsoft, or, if it's just going to be abandoned on that platform. Next, we hop over into a little segment that's going to be... So the chat's asking if COD was an Xbox thing before, or if Halo was the only exclusive. So Gears of War and Halo were the 2 exclusives over on Xbox. Call of Duty has been it's been primarily PlayStation for like the last generation or 2, I would say, just because they've kind of gotten exclusive maps early. They've gotten a bunch of this stuff early for Call of Duty, and just kind of ended up getting... I think they got maps, I think they got, like DLC stuff, they got like weapons drops, just like a decent bit of things they got before. And so it would be a huge swing for it to all of a sudden come over to Xbox. And then the next little bit of news is a little thing called the Elden Ring segment, which is the fact that, hey, Elden Ring, after being delayed twice, has officially gone gold, which means its release date of February 25th, 2022 is looking pretty dang solid. So expect to see Elden Ring coming to, your consoles February 25th, 2022. And, that's hopefully going to be a fairly solid game. I'm hoping it's a little bit easier than past Elden Rings, and, it kind of seems like they're leaning that way just based on interviews, especially with just some of the mechanics they've added in with, it being built a little bit more around co-op. And so just having that second player innately makes it a much easier experience. But yeah, so we will see though when Elden Ring actually comes out if it is in fact a easier one, or if it's just going to be kind of one of those situations where it ends up being just as hard as the other games. But on top of that, according to Tom Ivan over at VGC, which is the Video Games Chronicle, Elden Ring is looking at a completion time of about 30 hours if you kind of just mainline it, with, multitudes of dozens of hours on top of that, if, if you explore and that kind of stuff. And Elden Ring has me more so intrigued than... Okay, so we're in Route 104, real quick. Gotta hop over here. 104. Alright, just adding to the Nuzlocke notes. I want to see... Okay, so I don't have a map, but I know 104 is the first time I've been here. So this is possibility of a Pokemon. So we're going to go check, see how many Pokeballs we have, because I don't want that to be our issue, that we don't have Pokeballs. But yeah, so Elden Ring is one that I'm kind of looking at with a bit more of interest than past Souls-like games, just because it does sound like it's leaning a bit more towards, it's got some, a bit more online co-op that they're kind of, taking a peek at, which I think I didn't just want to buy one Pokeball. But they're definitely looking at it more as like a multiplayer kind of experience, which I would be very excited to see. Okay, so we'll spend 2,000 on Pokeballs. And then on top of that, it's just like, I already kind of felt like Souls games were super open world, and just like the level design was so intricate and like just carefully planned and that kind of stuff. And so I'm just like so excited to see, what they can kind of do with, with like a true, this is them calling it an open world game for the first time. And I'm just like so intrigued to see. Alright, come on. We already have one of these. Okay, now, question. I gotta look up the Nuzlocke rules. If we already have the Pokemon, does that count, or do we get to try a second time? Have that Pokemon. Alright. The Dupe's Clause that allows you to catch another Pokemon if you already caught the same species in a previous area. It's used... Okay. So from what I'm reading, and this is like straight off of, I thought it was Bulbapedia, but it's not. Okay, so it looks like depending, it's kind of like an optional one that it looks like it's pretty heavily allowed. So I'm gonna run it just because I think it would be kind of stupid to sit here and just have two Pokemon. And I think boning me out of an area just because I'm in like the super common one is kind of, lame. So I'm gonna go duplicate clause. And, fuck. God damn it. Whatever. It's water, so it's okay, I guess. Alright, so we're gonna hit him with a tackle. Please don't die. Okay. I was hoping he'd like use a defense, like a curl or something like that. God, really? Why was this the guy that Kombat? Oh my god. This is the one they give me on this spot? Like, fuck me, dude. Come on, just stay in the Pokeball. I got 14 Pokeballs! You're coming with me eventually, just go with the first one. Okay. Keep defense curling, that way maybe I can smack you one more time. Like, I mean, that's if we get to like 5 balls or less, though. Get back to the Elden Ring news. There we go. Okay, so we're getting back to the Elden Ring news. And the most spherical Pokemon possibly in this game is going to be named Pickle. Give a nickname to the captured Meryl. I almost called him Pickle already. Alright. Pickle. Alright, so we got Pickle now. We're gonna go heal Pickle. But, yeah, so basically, you know, like, all my kind of shit on, all my shit on Elden Ring is just, it kind of looks to me like what I want from if they made a, Dragon's Dogma 2. It looks super open world, the combat looks really interesting. I'm super intrigued by the fact that there's a system for like summoning. So like if you defeat an enemy, you can like summon their souls to where that same enemy will like come and fight for you. And so like I think it could make boss fights much easier. And I just in general think that, okay, it is a water type, that's good. That's good at least. We have some water. Okay, we're gonna put Pickle out there. Actually, you know what, Pickle can kind of stay back for now, and I will grind and level him off stream. Okay, you don't want to fight. Oh, I'm trying to fight you though. Okay, we're just gonna stand in his spot. And so, like, I think it's got a lot going for it that could make it more so of the first, like, Souls game that would actually interest me. Because I'm just not trying to go in here and be, like, super angry. But, like, they've always intrigued me because they're so goddamn beautiful. And, like, the worlds are just so, like, intricately crafted that I feel like this might be the one that finally pulls me in. I don't know, I'll probably keep my eyes on it, though, just to kind of see what exactly the difficulty level is looking like in them. Something that also has me intrigued is, you know, because it is an open world, it kind of, from what I've been seeing, looks as though you can kind of grind your level up to where you can kind of make yourself a little bit stronger than you should be. Which, you know, I'm always a fan of. I love, you know, grinding myself past the, oh, Shadow, why are you missing your attacks? I don't like that he's biting. Hit him with a howl. Or I'll hit myself with a howl. For some reason I thought howl was the one that took away his attack, but it's not. Alright, so we're gonna tackle him. Here we go. Oh man, I thought the bite had already gone. It's okay, it's okay. Oh man, okay, we're swapping guys. Goodness gracious. We had the first emergency alert. Yeah, no, the thought of getting your ass handed to you and then you all of a sudden have to come fight for him, not a fun one. There we go, super effective. Alright, I think he only had 2 Pokemon. Let's hope we're good. I think we're solid. We're good. We're fine. It's okay. We're gonna go heal right now. And also, like, I think the fact that, okay, so we got, 30 hours to kind of complete the main, run through, beat the game. But then you're looking at, if you want to explore and that kind of stuff, which I'm definitely kind of looking for in those kind of games, especially with how detailed they make the world. And, just like how you have, like, weapons where it's like, this is the only one of this weapon in the game. And, you have to go to this super, like, specific spot to get the weapon. You have to, it's like behind a boulder or in this one individual chest, or, this enemy is using it. And so I'm, like, super excited to kind of see that. But then on top of that, I find the idea that it is going to be a little bit more multiplayer specific kind of interesting. Oh man, I think, if I remember it, it's a Magikarp. I should have had Meryl out here doing this fight. Okay, whatever. Yeah, level 9 Magikarp. God, can you imagine? It would have taken Meryl forever, but boy would Meryl have, just absolutely leveled off that thing. Dude, what is up with Shadow's accuracy, man? He's missing all these attacks. She is missing all these attacks. But now we hop over to some Respawn news. So, Respawn, the studio behind games like Titanfall and Apex Legends, as well as Jedi Fallen Order. Yes, sorry chat, Pickle. I should have put Pickle in. They announced that Respawn is working on 3 Star Wars games, one of which being the Jedi Fallen Order sequel, the second being a first-person shooter, and the third being a strategy game where a decent number of the people within that specific studio are former, like, XCOM employees, so they have a pretty, like, good track record with, like, strategy games. Within that report was a noticed distinct lack of any dice games. Like, can't help but notice the fact that, Battlefront is just kind of getting tossed to the wayside, which, like, yeah, it did really bad, but it's kind of interesting that EA, isn't trying to eke out the last couple of years with this contract in a way where, oh man, I was hoping this would be a different section. But yeah, I'm surprised DICE and EA weren't trying to squeeze in one last Battlefront before the end of the Star Wars, like, exclusivity deal falls through. But I'm kind of excited to see, like, Respawn obviously did really well with Jedi Fallen Order. Both Titanfall games are super beloved by fans, and Apex Legends has been, like, a critical success. Like, it's been phenomenal. And so, like, right now, Respawn hasn't done any wrong, and so I'm super curious to see, where they kind of, kind of excited to see, where they end up kind of falling through on that stuff. Just, if these games are good, if they're bad. So I just had somebody in chat sent me a link to a news article that I didn't have, so I'm going to check that real quick. Okay, so it looks like basically, I'm just going to sum it up really quick, but small company had the word arcane within their branding, and Riot Games, the people behind League of Legends, extremely huge company, were claiming arcane was a property that only they basically had license over. And so they claimed them for using the word arcane, and have since issued an apology, probably because the internet kind of freaked out on them. So, new area, new Pokemon. Alright, Silcoon, you're gonna come with us. We're gonna do good. I don't think you have an attack. Yep, there we go, Harden. Alright, now, barring the crit, which I don't think it's gonna happen. We're gonna... Okay, there we go. We got him pretty low, we're gonna catch him. So like, I mean, honestly, that one can basically be summed up in, you know, like, big companies, like, don't fucking suck. Like, just let the people, like, it's not as though arcane was, like, the only word. Like, arcane was just, like, in the title. Like, it was one of the words. It's not like they were straight up just calling their shit arcane. Like, it was... I can't remember what it was off the top of my hat. Chat, if you want to throw it out for me, I would appreciate that. But it was one of the words. It wasn't even as though it's, like, they were straight up, like, selling their merch or whatever as it's arcane. Jesus Christ, why is this motherfucker not getting caught? Alright, you know what we're gonna do? We're gonna do this. We're gonna swap in Pickle. Pickle's gonna beat him down some. And we're gonna try some more Pokeballs. Okay, so we used Harden. Pretty sure that Pickle knows Tackle, so we'll be good. Yeah. Okay, so it is an indie comic called Arcane Flames. You know, arcane, as in magical. So, yeah, just some absolute bullshit coming out of Riot Games, which, you know, like, Riot Games has a history of some really questionable practices and just other things, so, you know, it's not necessarily the most surprising, but it's still disappointing anytime you see it. Alright, so we got a Silcoon. Alright, so I can't remember what this place is called. It's okay because we're about to run out of here anyways. Okay, so what's our nickname for the Silcoon? You know, we have Spice is our Torchic, so maybe we go with Salt. What do you guys think? I'll let you guys, I actually don't know what Silcoon turns into. Chat, if you wanna look it up. Silcoon Evolution. Oh, he turns into Beautifly. God damn it, we got the lame fucking one. We didn't get the one that turns into the good Pokemon. No, the other one turns into Dustox, so it's not much better. Whatever, it's okay, it'll be fine. So it turns into a butterfly, so what do you guys want to name a butterfly? While we're waiting to see what you guys are feeling for naming this butterfly, I'm going to hop onto the next one of, so unfortunately we have some terrible news coming out of the Activision Blizzard side of things, so petition to call it Suck. Alright, we can name it Suck. But so... Microsoft has not taken over the ownership of Activision Blizzard yet, and so because of this, they can't do much about, you know, what's kind of going on right now. But it appears as though there is some union busting allegedly happening over at Raven Studios, which is one of the support studios that typically helps out with the Call of Duty games. And so, basically, what had kind of been happening is the QA team over at Raven Studios had been actively striking for 7 weeks. They've been actively striking for 7 weeks for better, you know, working conditions, pay, that kind of stuff. And part of the strike was they formed a union, and within that, you know, like, part of the parameters for being within a union is, you know, you like working in a close enough group and that kind of thing with people. You have to basically have like similarities and, you know, common stuff happening within your job. And in a movement that seems as though it directly, you know, kind of is at odds with the Union, we have Raven, who decided that it would be a cool idea if, instead of having a QA department anymore, they broke up the QA department and reassigned them individually to the teams that they were basically QAing for. So, like, you know, with QA, it's not everybody in QA, you know, which, you know, quality assurance. They're basically the people that go in and test a lot of the stuff. You know, the testers of the games, you know, make sure there's not a bunch of bugs. And so, you know, no QA person plays the entire game. Instead, what happens is they go in and they test like specific things. So each person is in charge of a specific thing. And so they got rid of the QA department, and instead what they did is they reassigned them to basically the division or the group that they would have been QAing for. And so now, rather than having a QA department, there is a person in charge of QA within each of the groups. So, you know, the level design group, the texture group, or, you know, that kind of stuff, like the different sections that happen within the game. There's now an individual within each of those groups who is in charge of QA, rather than having an actual QA department, making it difficult to have a, you know, a union, because they're now no longer all working under the QA department. You know, they're not, like, they probably have quality assurance still in their title, but they're not within that department anymore. So they just got rid of, you know, the QA department. And, you know, they claim that it's like, oh, this is something that, you know, other video game studios do. Which, you know, is in fact true. Like, for example, one of the prevalent ones that has the QA department not as an actual department, and is instead, you know, individuals who are part of each of the teams who check over, you know, make sure the final works. So it's kind of like they're the end of the assembly line, where, you know, everything gets made, and then it hits the QA person at the end, and the QA person, you know, is kind of only, they're like in there working with the team, so it's like a lot more like direct contact and that kind of stuff. And so, you know, Raven is claiming that it's like, oh, this is a practice that is, you know, done throughout the video game you know, business place, with BioWare being one of the prevalent ones that they do that. However, a lot of people take issue with the timing of this, being the fact that they literally, QA just got off of a 7-week strike, and now is, you know, being dispersed amongst the company to where there no longer is a QA department, kind of making it hard for the union that they created to be a thing. We'll see if the union manages to, like, keep up and they manage to keep this union going. But, yeah, so some definite unfortunate news happening over on that Activision side that, you know, hopefully I would love to be able to tell you that as soon as, you know, Uncle Phil, you know, takes over, that he's going to be able to, you know, right all these wrongs and fix these ships. I am fairly certain, like, I don't know, like, I'd have to look it up exactly, but I am pretty sure that when the union was originally, like, announced, I believe Phil Spencer was one of the people who reacted, like, saying, like, you know, good on them, that's, you know, like, if you want to make a union, you should be able to have a union. You know, like I said, I'm not 100% sure if that was the case. I just feel like I remember seeing something about Phil Spencer reacting to it, and I remember it being in a positive manner. So, you know, I like to think that, God, Shadow and his accuracy, like, if I had more people, you'd be getting benched. God, don't hit me with the poison sting, that's not cool. Um, but you know, it's one of those that until Microsoft takes over and we see how they are behaving with these other businesses, you know, there's just speculations that we can do. But, you know, obviously I hope that everything, you know, just only ever gets better. Moving on to a section with a lot less meat on its bone. It's a lot more, you know, fun and fluff rather than, you know, actually having like considerable news behind it. We have the one, the only, The Rock, Dwayne The Rock Johnson, said in an interview that he is currently working on making a video game movie that will be announced later this year. And, you know, he basically was like, oh, you know, we're working on a video game movie related to, you know, like, one of the biggest franchises, you know, in video games and that kind of stuff. And, a lot of people have been, you know, shooting off like, oh, you know, one of the biggest franchises, you know, maybe it's a Call of Duty movie, you know, maybe it's a Fortnite movie. I am crossing my fingers. I think that this, by no means, is one of the bigger franchises in video games, but I'm holding out. Like, Dwayne The Rock Johnson has that body type of, I want to see him in a Gears of War movie. Like, that guy looks like he was just, like, pulled out of a Gears of War game. And, you know, I think the time is, like, now might be one of the best times to do it, because we've never had so many, like just, like, front-facing, like, big, buff, like, actors. And so, like, I want to pitch to you guys a game where we have, you know, Dwayne The Rock Johnson playing a character, we have Dave Bautista playing a character, and then you got Jason Momoa playing a character. Like, tell me those three guys would not make just, like, excellent Gears of War characters. Because, you know, I can't help, god damn it, Shadow, your accuracy, it's killing me. I can't help but be excited and kind of, like, giggle at the prospect that would be, you know, alright, Shadow's getting benched, we're swapping him out. I'm not here for this. And you know, like, following up the movie news, we have the recent Mortal Kombat movie that got made was announced to have a sequel that is currently in the works, and this is according to Mike Fleming Jr. Over at Deadline. And I haven't seen it. I have heard some stuff about it. You know, some people say it's incredibly hype. I don't know if anybody claims it's actually a good movie, but I think it did fairly well in, like, the box offices. So, I don't know. Like, I'm kind of, like, intrigued by the fact that it did well enough to warrant a sequel. I definitely didn't see that coming. I obviously thought it was hilarious enough to count in the news. But, yeah. Like I said, not a lot of meat on the bones, more so just, you know, food for your thought, because, like, I wasn't expecting it. Did not think that that game did well enough to get a sequel. I'm kind of happy, you know, for the actors in it. I know a lot of people like the interpretations. But, yeah, so we'll see where that ends up going. In other, you know, like, did anybody ask for this kind of news? Crysis 4 was, like, quietly announced this week. Which, like, you know, Crysis, the game that everybody, you know, memes on and makes jokes about how, you know, it was basically used to test, you know, if your computer could run, you know, video game graphics, because, like, it was notorious for breaking computers because of how intense its graphics were. So, like, weirdly, a billion years later, Crysis 4 is announced. And, you know, it's one of those meat on the bone ones that I'm just like, I don't think there is any. There's no meat on these bones. They threw out, oh, hey, guys, we're working on Crysis 4. It's not like it has a release date or anything. It seems like it's super early in development. And, you know, like the Mortal Kombat, it begs the question, did anybody ask for this? Like Crysis, the Crysis games, like, I own them. They were fun, but, like, I don't think a Crysis game has come out in, like, 2 console generations. Like, I'm talking, like, 360 days is when I'm pretty sure Crysis 3 came out. And so, like, that series stayed dormant, and I don't know why now all of a sudden it's coming back. Like, just kind of seems like a little bit of a weird one. You know, it really cracks me up thinking that somebody's just like, oh yeah, Crysis 4. But, like, I mean, hey, I'm happy that this company is getting to, you know, make the Crysis games they were wanting. I am, you know, sure that people will enjoy it. You know, I'm curious to see, you know, A, if it ever comes out, and B, like, what the timetable on it is. And then, so hopping down to some more, like, I mean, I guess I couldn't really call the last, like, 3 interesting. But, I mean, they were interesting enough to where, you know, they got an eyebrow raise, which was all the reason for me to, you know, throw them on this list. But, Xbox apparently has been working with studios. They've kind of been pitching it out to kind of see if they could end up doing their own Monster Hunter. So not as in like, oh hey, we're going to talk to Capcom and get permission to make a Monster Hunter, but basically like kind of take that recipe and make their own IP, get their own studio working on it, because according to the reports, they, you know, have been kind of shopping this around to different studios. It kind of sounds like they landed on one, and the goal is to, you know, kind of just widen the array of games on Xbox Games Pass by adding a Monster Hunter-esque game on there. And, you know, I think that'd be pretty cool. I enjoyed Monster Hunter World a lot. I didn't buy Monster Hunter Rise just because, you know, it came out for the Switch, and that's not necessarily where I want to play, like, a lot of my harder core games. Like, I'd say, like, the hardest core I go on the Switch would be, you know, I'm a big fan of my Fire Emblem Three Houses, but, you know, that's not one where I'm having to, like, you know, strategically move the Joy-Cons and that kind of stuff, you know. I'm moving my units around the battlefield and I'm fighting. It doesn't take a lot of, you know, like, precise button inputs and that kind of stuff. So, a Monster Hunter-like series coming to Xbox Games Pass sounds absolutely amazing to me. I think that that would be a just absolute ton of fun. And, you know, I think that, you know, the fact that they're looking to, like, they know what Games Pass is right now, and they're trying to, you know, kind of pull games from different areas to change that, I think is a super exciting thing. The fact that they're being so self-aware and know that they're, you know, kind of fitting into this one particular niche. And, you know, I think the fact that they're looking to kind of escape that and kind of add a wider variety of games, it says a lot about Games Pass and where they're kind of looking to take it. And then the final bit of news to kind of wrap up and where I'm going to end with is, so way, way long ago, in a galaxy far, far away, Star Wars 1313 was a game hyped up to be, you know, like, it very well could have and very well should have been one of the best games. Like, the sounds of it, it was going to be made by a lot of the people that did Uncharted. It was going to be a story-based narrative where you were going to be playing as a bounty hunter. And it was recently kind of talked about how a lot of decisions about that game kind of just had a lot of overhead, and how that kind of, you know, led to the downfall of that game. You know, like, stuff's been coming out about that game forever, but, you know, some of the big stuff coming out was, you know, the fact that some time was definitely lost in... So this was before Disney got Star Wars. And so because of that, George Lucas was still over top, and so he told the studio making Star Wars 1313 that rather than it being some new character, a new bounty hunter, he wanted Star Wars 1313 to be a Boba Fett story. And so they made it a Boba Fett story. Okay, so don't have a map, but I'm like 90% certain this is a new spot. Let's double check. Okay, so I come in here, come like this. No, it's still saying it's Route 104. What the hell? Yes, I know about double battles. Come on, let's get through this. But, so some of the news kind of coming out today is the fact that we actually have, like, straight up gameplay footage from that game. Like, newer gameplay footage that has been released this week that just, like, really paints that game in, like, a huge light of, like, knowing that this was back in 2012, 2013. Game probably would have been released, like, 2014, maybe 2015 at the latest. Just seeing how good this game looked, it is something that's, like, super exciting, absolutely crazy to think of. And as soon as we get out of this, I'm going to take you guys over and we're going to watch that. So we're going to go like this. We're going to hop down to this guy. What up? And I'm going to go like this. Alrighty. And so we are now going to watch the Star Wars 1313 Boba Fett gameplay that they had, and just like some of the mechanics and stuff that was, you know, going to be being utilized in this game. And it's one of those that it's kind of crazy to look at and to see how much of the mechanics and stuff that they pulled from this made it into other games in the future. Like, there's a fair bit of this that looks like it went into Jedi Fallen Order.
Get back here!
And, like, you know, once again, like, this is a game that was going to be, you know, coming out probably 2014, maybe 2015 at the latest. And it has, like, so much just stuff that
let him
it
get
could have done.
away.
Like, it was, I think it really could have pushed the game forward. I think it could have pushed what we were getting from Star Wars games forward by so much. Because, like, if you look at it, like, until Jedi Fallen Order, like, we basically, you know, were given first-person, third-person-ish shooters. Like, we got Battlefront, was all the Star Wars we got for a super long time, unless you're talking about, you know, like Lego Star Wars or that kind of stuff.
Try to cut him off!
Okay, so apparently it's coming through a little crazy loud. I'm gonna try going. Okay, so we're gonna drop down like that. Let me know if it's any better. Sorry about that, guys. I didn't know the audio was going to be super blasted. I tried to have it a little bit lower on my side, but I don't think I ended up fixing it that much. And so now we hit just like some straight up, just like stuff that, like we get some like very early testing stuff that they had worked on. Dropping some stuff, see if that helps any. Alright guys, and so that's where we're going to end this News in Nuzlocke session. So if you enjoyed that, tune in next Sunday for some more News in Nuzlocke. You have missed the previous weeks, kind of want to see me absolutely make rookie mistakes by killing off one of the few Pokemon we can catch. Yeah, check out the other ones, see some previous news that had happened. That's going to be over on YouTube. If you look for the GlintingRuffian YouTube channel, you'll find it over there. But, coming up tomorrow, we have Mass Effect 1, or Mass Effect 2 Part 1 getting uploaded to YouTube tomorrow. Or, yeah, for you guys it will be tomorrow. I twitch chat. But, yeah, so that's going to be getting uploaded tomorrow. And, hey, those get recorded, previously. That had been recorded a little bit ago over on Twitch. If you want to watch, those sections all live, that's over at twitch.tv/GlintingRuffian. You want to watch some highlights? That's going to be over on the TikTok channel, also GlintingRuffian. We also occasionally tweet out. Guess where that's going to be? It's at GlintingRuffian. We got GlintingRuffian across the board. I would appreciate if everybody went, liked, commented, subscribed, followed, all the things, all the platforms. But yeah, that's where we're going to be ending it for tonight, and I will see you guys in the next video. Goodbye now.